Well, hi, and welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. When Jesus was living and teaching in Israel about 2,000 years ago, he came across all sorts of people. And he was just as happy talking to a king and his royal household as he was talking to a beggar on the street. Often we hear about Jesus talking and being with the outcasts of society. I guess because they had no qualms about interacting with Jesus. After all, what else had they got to lose? So I guess it's not completely surprising that when one of the Jewish leaders wanted to find out for himself what Jesus was all about, he did it in secret, at night. Everything prearranged. This was one of the senior rabbis, a man called Nicodemus. He was going to go and talk to Jesus, and no one must find out. Well, he managed it. He got there. He had his chat and left all without incident. Well, without incident to anybody else. You see, some of the things that Jesus said to him were really quite profound and hard for him to understand. You'd have thought that this teacher, who was right at the top of his game, would be able to handle whatever Jesus might throw at him. But as it turned out, some of the things that Jesus said were just so countercultural, so different to everything that Nicodemus had ever heard before, that this meeting would give him and us a lot to think about. One of the things Jesus told him was that in order to be saved from the punishment due for everything that a person had done wrong, then that person must be born again. Now, this is definitely a bit odd. There are some things that we all have in common. We're all born, and that event only ever happens once. The very idea of it happening again makes just no sense at all. Well, not until we start to explore more of what Jesus then talked about. See, Jesus explained that humans, we're a bit more than just a physical shell. Yes, we've all got a body, but there's something going on inside that makes you, you. We could think of that as our spirit. What Jesus explained was that our spirit needs to be born again. You could say joined with God or reconnected with God. It's the things we do wrong that separate us from God, but Jesus made it possible for our spirit to reconnect, be reborn with God. That is quite a lot to get your head around, and it certainly took Nicodemus some time to come to terms with it. Another of the things Jesus said ended up being one of the most quoted verses in the entire Bible. I guess because it kind of sums up everything that Jesus was about. And it goes like this. God loved the people of this world so much that he gave his only Son so that everyone who has faith in him will have eternal life and never really die. It comes from John's Gospel. It's in chapter 3, verse 16. And if you really break it down and think about it, it's quite amazing. This is God. God, the creator of the universe, bigger and more powerful than literally anything. That God loved the people he created in this world. That's every single one of them, no exceptions. God loved every one of them so much that he gave his only Son, that's Jesus, so that everyone, again, no exceptions, everyone who chooses to have faith in Jesus, to forgive the wrong things that they've done, every single one of those people will have eternal life and will never really die. When our spirit gets reborn and rejoined back to God, we are connected directly to the source of life itself. That's why this idea of eternal life is there. That's where it comes from, and why a Christian will never really die. This body will die. That's a consequence of life as it is at the moment. But God has promised new physical bodies as well one day. Physical bodies that don't break, they don't get sick, they don't get old, they don't die. There's so much in this. If you want to find out more about the things that Jesus said, his claims, his promises, or anything else, do get in touch. I'd love to tell you more. I hope you have a great week. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.